Hey, all right, everybody. Welcome to the A Little Bit More podcast with Pastor Michael. We're in week 2 already down of this new series, Rooted, and it's awesome. And we're going through the book of Acts, and been loving it so far. You've done a great job of going through this with us. But first, before we get into that, just sidebar, it's Olympics time. What are you watching? Are you watching the Olympics? Are you an Olympics guy?
My wife is obsessed with the Olympics, like to the point where she said at my funeral, I want the Olympics soundtrack to be played.
Which
is pretty weird. But she loves it. It's fine. So I watch it because of her. So I love sports, right? So then
you're a sports guy.
I'll watch some of it. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say, I'm going to watch the figure skating. I'm going to watch.
That's probably not your favorite.
Curling. That could
Dude,
be
you got to get into curling.
Hold on.
No.
It could be electric. I'm understanding that it could be like I saw
the strategy.
The U.S. came through and there's some miracle that they knocked out the reigning
literally
gold champs from last year.
You being a guy who loves like golf, like there's so much strategy in golf, and like I feel like I'm a world class curler who's never tried it. I think it's
what's weird? I feel like you'd be really.
I think it's a hidden talent I have, and I've never tried it. But I think I would like. Would they do curling club in Fort Wayne?
I heard.
We should go down sometime.
I heard. Yeah.
Would you give it a go?
I don't know. Well, I probably would give it a try. I'd give anything a try. I think. But if I'm watching the Olympics, I'm for sure watching like the downhill skiing or downhill snowboard with the big jumps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's exciting.
That stuff to me gets me pretty excited.
And you know, the other sort of sport people might think is boring that I'm fascinated by is the biathlon. So it's when they cross country ski through the woods and then they stop and have to shoot targets.
Oh, yeah.
I don't ski and I don't shoot.
Yeah.
But I love watching the biathlon.
Yeah.
I will go back and rewatch the biathlon if it's during the day when I'm at work. And I can go back and rewatch it.
Can you just imagine someone practicing that?
I don't know I don't know what you do.
Like how odd that would look though.
Yep.
I'm just slowly skiing and then like he stops and grabs a gun and just
shooting stuff.
What are you training for, brother?
Yeah.
But I get it.
The Olympics is the only time that like I'll watch certain sport. Like when else am I watching figure skating?
Never.
But like I was tuned in, like I had rooted for the guy all year.
Yep. And that's the thing. It doesn't take long watching a couple events before you become a big fan and follow their story.
Yeah.
So I might not be the level of your wife, but I'm pretty close. And the Winter Olympics are way better in my opinion than summer. Yeah. I love the Winter Olympics.
I went to go put on Sports Center just to see some highlights of like basketball. I turn off the Olympics. And she looks at me, she goes, "What are you doing?" My bad. You're right. That's on me.
You're right. Listen, for this 2.5 weeks, I apologize.
That's on me.
Anyway, that's a little bit more of Olympics. That's fun. But let's get into Acts 7.
Yep.
We got a lot going on here with Stephen.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot. Acts chapter 7, man, it's a lot. So there's 60 verses to cover, right? Mm-hmm. And then you can't really cover chapter 7 without understanding chapter 6. Stephen and all of them were selected for for the structure of the church and what's happening, right? But chapter 7, man, it's
basically recapping the Old Testament.
Yeah. So here's what I love about it. So Stephen's, you call it a sermon, you call it speech, whatever you want to call it. As he's given his defense, right? He's like, it's so calculated, and he's just basically repeating history the entire time. Mm-hmm. And so even as you said that, so he's repeating history, and those guys are probably sitting there going, right? Like they're probably okay, I've heard that, and he's getting their attention the entire time, up until like verse 51, which is where we started, right? Mm-hmm. And he goes, "Here's what you did. Here's what you did. Here's what you did. You stiff-necked people." Like it's so aggressive, which is kind of my personality.
Yeah, you love Stephen.
I do. I love Stephen. Just his obedience. He caught their attention, and then he said, "You stiff-necked people, you never knew the Lord," is what he's telling them. Like you were very religious. Mm-hmm. Look how religious you were. Congrats. That got you nowhere. Yeah, it got you nowhere. And so, him pointing out like they've never surrendered their hearts to the Lord. They have no idea what they're doing. But Stephen's faithfulness was just remarkable for us to look at. And what happened after Stephen's death was like, well, okay, we got Paul, right? We got a lot of the New Testament. We got all this stuff that's happened. And even some of the men who were there that was in charge of the stoning are now overseers and deacons and elders of churches in the future.
Yeah.
And they were part of that and they saw that, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just incredible, like to know your obedience, you may not see it right now,
Yeah.
but then it'll like there's some eternal faithfulness that will be rewarded later on.
That's a really good point. Yeah, you're like 51. You stiff-necked people, and then he says, was there ever a prophet your ancestors did not persecute? They even killed those who predicted the coming of the righteous one. And it's sort of like he's like sort of predicting what they're going to do to him.
Right.
It's like it's sort of sad. Now I love how this ties into 6, which we talked about before. So if you're doing the Bible reading, you've already like been reading this too. Like all of this stuff that sets up with Stephen basically comes about in a similar way, like how Jesus was arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Like Stephen literally is just out there performing great wonders and signs to the people,
Right.
and opposition rose because they began to argue with Stephen and they couldn't stand up to the wisdom that the Spirit gave him. And so they're basically just like jealous and saying, I don't like this guy. So they secretly persuade people to say, we heard Stephen speak blasphemous words. So they couldn't even find something wrong with him. Just the same way they did with Jesus. They had to convince some people to lie about him.
Yeah. Which
is crazy.
it is. And it shows their character from where they're at, right? It shows how fallen away they were.
Because he shouldn't have been seized in the first place.
No, but then it's the same men, okay? When the stoning's happening, and Stephen goes, "Look, behold, it's the Son of God," and when he says that in that passage, as we covered, it's grown men.
Yeah,
These are grown men, and they are covering their ears like a toddler, right? Like that's what we talked about, covering their ears like a toddler, wailing and yelling so they didn't hear what Stephen said. Yeah. That's what my daughter does when I tell her it's time for bed, right? Like these are grown men.
I can't hear you.
I can't hear you. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, so it just like it's so consistent, right? Yeah. Like the character of those men, what they did to Jesus, what they did to Stephen, it's the same thing, right? And when people don't want to hear the truth, when they don't want to abide it, when they have nothing to do with it, and it's not itching their ears, right? It's just they're so against it, and it's unfortunate, but that's just where the world is sometimes. And but Stephen didn't care. Yeah, he was obedient.
I'm in a discipleship group with some other guys, and we talked about this quite a bit with persecution. Like we're so sheltered in America, and we see it creeping up here a little bit. But all around the world, people are like physically getting persecuted for their faith. Yeah. And one day it will happen here in America. It's already starting to happen. It's going to happen more and more. Mm-hmm. So we were sort of talking about how important it is for us to be doing what we're doing right now in discipleship groups and studying the Word, hiding it in our hearts, of being people who are men and women of prayer and meditating on the Scriptures, because we need to be building our like you talked about 2 weeks ago, on the solid rock of Jesus. So when we do face these persecutions, like we'll already be prepped. We're not going to be like wishy-washy on, oh man, because we will, or our descendants will be the people who have to stand up to some real in your face, are you a Christian or not? And if you say 100%. Yes, you're going to get killed.
Right. And in that moment, you want to be like Stephen. You want to be like, because the question I asked yesterday, right? It's the same thing. Have you ever heard of a martyr that was just like a crazy maniac? No. Every one of them is full of the Spirit, has this insurmountable peace that God gives you during that moment that you're like, I understand what I'm doing. I understand this is my purpose. I understand that I'm about to be united with the Lord. And this is what I've been called to do, is to make much of Him, to go and share others with Him. Yep. And in that moment, is it scary? Oh, for sure. You're about to, if you're ever put in that situation, or these Stephen and anybody else, like you're about to die, you're losing your life, but understanding what Paul says, to live is Christ, great, but to die is the gain. Right. So it doesn't matter. I'm going to win regardless because I have Jesus.
That's right on.
And
that's what I call like eternal perspective. I try to keep that, everything I go through on a daily basis, in that mindset of, all right, you can think about the here and now. We often get stuck in the here and now. Yeah. But when you pull back and think, all right, in the perspective of eternity, can you look back and say, like, this stuff I'm in, like, this has eternal value. Yeah. And that's huge, to be able to think like that. And you read some of the scriptures in Revelation that talk about, like, there's a special place in heaven for martyrs.
Yeah,
which is crazy to think
pretty cool.
about. But
Yeah.
like still, so Stephen's story has always
Yeah.
been fascinating to me.
Yeah.
And like we said from the beginning, he shouldn't have even been arrested and
No.
tried, and let alone stoned.
Yeah.
Like, so like life isn't fair,
Yeah.
but he was standing on the truth of the gospel. And that's a great inspiration for us,
Yeah.
to look forward to, like, potentially what's going to happen. Not potentially, it will one
Yeah.
day.
And just that picture too, like, so everywhere throughout scripture, right? Jesus is sitting at the right hand of the throne. But in that moment where Stephen's looking up, what is Jesus doing? He's standing. He's standing,
That's beautiful
knowing,
insight. Yeah.
hey, Stephen, I know the pain you're going through, brother. But I see you, I got you, and here in a moment you're going to be with me. And to know he'll do that for you. He
He loves you that much.
he loves
Yep.
you. Like he's standing in reverence. He's standing knowing that understanding what's happening, and we have a God that does that, and that's just incredible. So just that picture of him standing there and not moving past it, and I think it's important for us to know, man. Like,
That's good.
yeah,
So wherever you're at right now, we just want to encourage you, like, it's never too late to stop being wishy-washy, start building your life on the solid foundation of Jesus, because it's going to affect how you think, how you act, how you live. And like we said, there's some stuff coming.
Yep.
We got to be prepared. So thanks for helping us look through this, walk through this.
you got it.
And we'll be back again next week with a couple chapters later in Acts. We'll be back.
Acts 13.
All right. Here we go. Have a great week, everybody.